Hey everyone, Chris Dawson running for Invercargill City Council here, and this is part 2 of alternate water supplies. And is it a solution looking for a problem? That one I'll let you make your mind up, because it's your money that's going to be spent on this if it proceeds. So, where are we at? Branksholme. What can take out Branksholme? Now you're going to hear things like contamination. That's a load of nonsense. I've taught people catchment risk analysis at that very plant, and there's nothing out there that can take out Branksholme, not contamination-wise. Second one is earthquake. Well, any earthquake that takes out Branksholme is going to take out everything else in its way as well, including an alternate water supply, so you can't really say an earthquake's only going to pick on Branksholme. More specifically, it's going to pick on all the pipes between Branksholme and town, and quite possibly an alternate water supply in town, so you're no further ahead. Which brings us to drought. Now in 2018 there was actually quite a good drought in the Aridi catchment, and we had to introduce hosing restrictions. But it wasn't severe enough that we had to shut down industry, like we still had an economy at the end of it. So it was close, but of course that drought brought it to the forefront of everyone's mind that, hey, we're vulnerable because we've only got one source of water. And you will hear that line touted by councillors and council staff alike ad nauseum. We are the only city our size that is reliant on a single supply. Technically true, factually accurate, but is it the whole truth? No, it's not. Because a lot of places our size, and actually even double our size, still have a single point of failure in their water supply. Like when I was researching this very video, I found one supply that has 3 different source waters that all go to the same water treatment plant. So if you take out that water treatment plant, they're doomed. Doesn't matter how many sources you got no treatment plant, you're out of water. So they're not really any further ahead of us, it's just that they're immune to drought. They're not immune to earthquakes. So there's lots of places like that. Like I found one place that had 2 bore fields, much like Invercargill used to have. Does that count as an alternate supply? Well, apparently it does, because we're the only city our size without an alternate supply according to the council, so it must count. And yet when you look at the numbers, one bore field supplies 85% of this town's water and the other one supplies 15. Could that 15% bore field supply the entire town? Of course not. You might have enough water to drink, but that's it. All your businesses are shutting down and your economy's doomed. So we're not actually as unique as the council would lead you to believe, and we're not as vulnerable as the council would lead you to believe. Do we have a problem? Yeah, we've got a problem, but it's not make or break stuff like it's being made out to be. So what do we do about it? Well, in 2017 there was a huge groundwater mapping project in Southland, and they discovered there's a whole lot of groundwater in what's called the Chatham Formation, which is deep underneath actually Southland. Like even underneath me right now, but in Invercargill City itself, it's about half a kilometre down. We can't drill that far and pull it out, it's just not practical. But down at Awarua, it gets very close to the surface, like a couple of 100 metres. So they've started drilling test bores to see how much water they can pull out. And what they have discovered is that's not an alternate water supply at all, because there is no way it can replace Branksholme. It can only be a supplementary supply if Branksholme's running a bit short, or an emergency supply if something does actually happen to Branksholme. So when I say emergency, I mean 3 to 5 million litres a day, which is enough for us to drink. We've still got to shut down the city, shut down all our businesses and shut down our economy. So do we really want to spend $60.5 million on that? Well, the council says yes, but I'm not too sure myself. So it's one to have a think about, because it's very subjective where you stand on this, where you think, I think we do need to find something, but at the same time, I know it's not out there. I know that groundwater source they found is as close as we're going to get unless we start talking about running pipelines right across the province, and I mean right across the province. Which brings us back to earthquakes are going to probably destroy that just as quickly as they destroy Branksholme, so what's the point? We're just going in circles, and that's my biggest fear with this alternate water supply debacle, is that we are just chasing our tail, because right now we're going to have to develop the supply to see how much water we can get out of it, which means we have to spend money on it to find out how much water we can get out of it, so we know how much to invest in it. But we've already spent the money to find out how much water we can get out, so you see, we're just going in circles. We've got to spend money to find out, oh, it's no good, but we've got to spend money to find out if it is good. And yeah, it's just a big mess. And this was always going to happen because people who forget the past are doomed to repeat it. So while it might be worth investigating, I'd be very hesitant about developing it unless there were some sure signs you can get a good quantity of water out of it to A, stop town running dry, and B, keep industry running, because if industry shuts down, what's the actual point of it? I mean, if it's all about drinking water, we can just buy bottled water and we can probably do it a hell of a lot cheaper than $60 million. Anyway, I've really skimmed this topic because I could go on for hours about this. So if you've got any questions or got any thoughts, pop into the comments and let me know. Cheers.